Do you know that global warming actually started way back in the 1830s? Assalamualaikum, I'm Altaf Pasha and I'm going to talk about the Paris Agreement. As I mentioned before, global warming actually started way back in the 1800s. Let's explore more and see why global warming happened in the first place. The main reason of why global warming happened is because of what we call the greenhouse gases. What are greenhouse gases? Some greenhouse gases may include carbon dioxide or CO2, methane or CH4, nitrous oxide or N2O, and also some other chemical gases. Why are they called the greenhouse gases? They're called so because too much of those chemical gases can cause a greenhouse effect, which means too much of them can make our beloved Earth to overheat. It is basically because those gases are a fuel that attracts the sun's heat to make the earth warm enough for us to live. Therefore, excessive release of those gases could make the earth too warm and overheat. When the earth overheats, the temperature rises, and since the temperature rises so rapidly in such a small period of time, the climate began to change. And that's why climate change and global warming happened. Research has shown that even naturally, temperature will eventually rises by a few degrees. Although, with global warming, the rate of the changes increase. The biggest factor of global warming is actually human beings. A lot of our excessive consumption of energy leads to excessive release of greenhouse gases. And since we are the biggest factor of global warming, we need to find a way to change things back to the way it used to be. And with that, the Paris Agreement were born. It was actually adopted by 196 parties on exactly 12 December 2015. And it was born in Paris. According to the UNFCCC website, the Paris Agreement is a legally binding international treaty on climate change. Its purpose of life is to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees, preferably to 1.5 degrees Celsius. It is not easy to achieve this long-term goal, which is why humans from around the world aim to reach global peaking of greenhouse gas emission as soon as possible. And how do we achieve that? Implementation of the Paris Agreement requires economic and social transformations, which is why the Paris Agreement works on a 5-year cycle of increasingly ambitious climate actions. By 2020, countries have submitted their plans for climate actions, known as nationally determined contributions. In their NDCs, countries talk about actions they will take to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions. They also communicate about the actions they will take to adapt to the impact of rising temperatures. The Paris Agreement also provides framework for financial, technical, and capacity building to countries who needed it. Aside from how, what have we achieved so far? Well, although climate change action needs to be massively increased, the years since it was entered into force have already sparked low-carbon solutions and also new market. But before I continue, what is low-carbon solutions? According to Wikipedia, low-carbon power comes from processes or technologies that produce power with substantially lower amounts of carbon dioxide emissions. Okay, moving on. Hold on, what's next? Let me check. That's it. Okay. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy my video and I hope you get a little insight about the Paris Agreement. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Once again, I'm Altaf Pasha. Over and out.